What's up, guys? Barry Gaming here, back with some more Idle Heroes, and today we're going to be going over something that a lot of people have been asking for lately, and that is where you should be spending your gems. But in order to do that, I first want to talk about, well, where are you getting those gems from? How many gems you're getting? We're going to start doing this as a free-to-play scenario. So those of you who have monthly privilege cards, you might buy some packages, you're going to have a surplus of gems. But we're going to talk about daily where you're getting your gems, weekly where you're getting them, and monthly. And we're going to talk about the grand total, because in the end of the day, we want to run at a net surplus. Because there's a couple events every month you definitely need gems for. And then, of course, you want to keep saving up for bigger events as well that require you to spend gems. And that's not even counting pushing Vanquisher, Vortex, all those other things that cost gems too. That's something you're going to have to consider. But hopefully this gives you a little bit of help and understanding about where you should be spending your gems and where you should be getting them. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Let's jump right into it. So to start this off, let's go over where you're going to be getting your daily gems from. We are on our free-to-play account, so this is going to be a perfect example. The first spot you really want to consider about your gems is going to be your Celestial Islands. So when you get these leveled up to level 60, you're going to be getting 120 gems per day. That's pretty good. So even, you got to make sure you're logging in the right amount of time, because one thing you have to make sure is the prosperity bonus here. Yes, it does increase the output of gems, but one thing that the other mines do is it increases the output by a percentage, but in reality what it does is it makes it max out faster. So you can't wait the whole day. In reality, you want to try to log on 2 times a day, evenly spaced out, to make sure you're getting all the max gems that you can get. Yeah, just make sure you're getting it. So even if we just go with the baseline, so just 240, you got 2 gem mines, you're getting 240 gems per day from Celestial Island. That alone is pretty good. We're not even going to talk about the gems you're going to get from your actual progression in Celestial Island. One thing you have to consider is you might need to calculate 50 gems per day in for your actual hits. When you do your explorations, you might get the one that actually requires you to, right here, this one right here, the 50. So you kind of might want to calculate 50 gems a day into purchases here. You rarely get 2, but you will on occasion get some gems back from this event, which is pretty nice. Kind of help recoup your costs, but that is something to consider. So number 1 is Celestial Island. Number 2 is a daily login. So you don't get it every single day. I kind of average this out to be like 20 per day. It's probably more if I actually took the time to do the math here. But even on the low end, just talking about maybe like 20-ish to 50-ish a day, because of course you do have some bigger ones in here, but it is spread across the entire month. There are some hero copies, some scrolls, some random stuff thrown in. We're going to go conservative and just say about 20 per day. Now, we're not going to talk about the daily mail login because not every event has it. We're in an event right now that you're not getting gems. So you can consider the gems that you get from other events, 150 per day, pretty solid extra bonuses. You're not going to be getting anything from the friends list, but when we move on over to the tavern, this is where you're going to want to use your extra daily tavern quests you have and everything. But at the very least, pretty much on an average day, I would say you're going to come away with 250 gems. You get 5 quests. Even if you roll the lowest low, that's 250 gems per day. Technically, you can get more, and of course, you can get more over on this side as well. You get some nice big bonuses. So those are where I say all these other ones, don't factor them into your calculations. These are extras. These are going to be ones that are going to help you save in more of a surplus overall. So Tavern Quest, pretty good. We're not going to talk about Marketplace. Nothing in the Wishing Fountain Summoning Circle. Arena is one of the first spots we do need to talk about, because daily you are going to be able to get some rewards. You're actually going to be able to get 60 gems per day from IDA, which is very, very nice to see. That is going to be a nice little bonus. And then, of course, we have a couple spots where you're going to be getting some weekly bonuses. So Trial of Champion, you could probably average this one out to be about 500 gems per week. with very little effort, especially since you're broken up based on the level of your account itself. You're kind of a little bit more fairly matched up for the overall, but getting in like the top 10,000, even like the top 5,000, it shouldn't be too difficult for most people as long as you put your attacks into it. That's an extra 500 gems per week, which is a nice thing to see. And then, of course, free team arena. That one's a little less reliable. I'm not really counting the gems from free team arena in this calculation because it really depends. You could be a very low ranking, you could be a higher ranking. It is once a week, so you get to do 4 of these a month, which is pretty solid. Besides that, though, I really wouldn't talk about the gems as reliable from there. Brave Trial, no. Sealand, no. Aspen Dungeon. So, this one's interesting because it really depends on what difficulty you are up to because your smash will be different. I think conservatively, I would say getting about 300 gems a week isn't unheard of. Getting about 100 to 150 per smash. Maybe saying more like 200 gems a week because of course this is going to open 2 to 3 times a week. I would say 300 is reasonable even if you're in Death 1. I think my smash I did right here, I got like 200 gems and that's just from the one time this week. So you can kind of, it's a lot more random, but you can assume you're going to get some gems from that, which is pretty solid. And of course, daily quests. So daily quests, you can get a grand total of 30 from Wishing Fountain. You can get 20 from her Heroic Summon, 20 or 30 for 50 from Heroic Summon, 20 for getting your campaign claim twice, and then finishing everything is 100, so that's 200 total, bringing the daily total to around somewhere between 750 and 800 gems per day. So what does that mean? You're going to get a monthly total of probably over right around 23,000 gems, and that's not even including if you high roll on taverns, you're using extra tavern quests you get from completing Celestial Island missions, your daily campaign, because of course the loot here, you can get them here as well, which is pretty solid. And then there's other special events that are going to give you some bonuses. The other thing we need to talk about are monthly events. So even if you're not getting the monthly carnival, if you do get the monthly carnival, this is why it's like one of the nice low-end purchases. The daily, the privilege cards plus the monthly carnivals are a great combo, but you do get a ton of gems out of this. You actually get, what is it? That's 3, 15, 50, 6,000. 7,500 gems, so that's pretty solid. But even if you're not doing that fighters competition, you can get 3,500 gems right there. For your fusions, you can get a new grand total of 2,000. That's an upgrade from before. It used to be just 1,000. You can now get 2,000 every single month. And then Broken Space is nothing, but Brave Trial, you can get another 800, which is a total of 6,300 per month. So we're looking at about a grand total of monthly gems, probably in the ballpark of about 32,500. So 32,500 gems is what you're going to get completely free in this game. And that's talking the low roll. That's not counting some of the bonuses you get for daily quests or your daily logins, things like that. You might get more from Aspen Dungeon. You might get more from PvP. You might get more from Celestial Island. But this is a good baseline to talk about. You can allocate about 32,500 gems as your monthly gem generation. That's not too bad. One thing you have to consider, there's a couple events you absolutely need to save gems for. One is 4,500 gems for Imp's Adventure. Another one is 4,000 gems for Sky Labyrinth. Besides that, it's really up to you. If you want to calculate in the 8,000 gems it takes for the gem boxes event, like the ones coming up next week, or maybe even more, maybe 10,000, you can do that as well. But you know, overall, it's not too bad. There are events like next week, we got the Labyrinth coming up. You get gems back by doing it as well. So it's not like a full 4,000 gem investment. Usually it's about 1,000 gem investment, but you can kind of calculate that yourself. And then of course, there are things that you have to consider when you are pushing Void Vortex for a higher difficulty. You're going to have to anticipate spending some gems, maybe not a lot, depending on what difficulty you're pushing on, as well as Tower of Dream. We're not quite unlocked Tower of Dream, but if you are there and you want to push for some progress, you might need to spend some gems, as well as Sealand. If you want to do more than the 10 pushes a day, you're going to have to calculate some in. So what are we going to spend these excess gems on? You could consider doing extra smashes when you're at like ceiling 18 or above. When you're above in the 20 range, it's actually not too bad because you're also getting Celestial Island upgrade resources. So that one's a decent way to spend it. Would I do it? Maybe not. I would never go over 3 daily because the first 3 only cost 100 gems. Once you hit that button one more time, they cost 200 more. And then once you get past 6, they cost 300 more. So I would highly suggest you don't do that on the average account. I would only do that for people who really know their income and they can still stay in the net positive. One thing you should try to do and work in and get is as many cores as possible. Now, of course, you cannot afford to do this daily. You can probably do it every other day to every 3rd day as a free-to-play player safely while still accumulating resources. In reality, if you buy one every other day, your daily gem profit is going to be near 0, which means the only bonuses you're going to get is probably about 8,000 gems from the monthlies and the weekly PvP type events. If you think that's enough, that's fine. In reality, I would probably buy it every 2.5 to 3 days to make sure you are in a surplus of gems. If you have a ridiculously high amount from doing that from too long, you can start to buy them daily for a little bit and then cut back. But Cores of Transcendence is where the majority of your progress is going to come on your free-to-play account. Why? Because you get Stellar Shards, which are absolutely important on your main hero. And of course, you'll slowly accumulate these Crystals of Transcendence to get your Transcendence heroes. So hopefully this helps you kind of figure out where you want to spend your gems and how you're going to accumulate them. If you have any questions, definitely leave them in the comments down below. I will try to answer as many of them as possible. And if you think any of my calculations were bad, which, you know, it's Barry Gaming, they could be a little off. Some of them are estimates, some of them are rough averages. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it though. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Make sure you share this with your friends, with your guild mates, everything, because if they need to find some help on you know, where their gems are coming from, where to spend them on, hopefully this gives them a little bit of guidance. So you guys next time.